This is our 5th episode for Basil, our King of Thieves. Last time, Basil liberated many of the goods from the chests and pockets of the denizens of Beregost, and even became a hero for it. Way to go, buddy. Now we're going to take care of some really stupid, dangerous shit. First, we're going to deal with the chicken Melicamp. Basil's going to grab Melicamp. Melicamp, of course, is a chicken who is actually also an apprentice of a mage named Thalantir. We've met Thalantir before. He's the mage at High Hedge. And Melicamp, of course, is his apprentice. We're going to take him back home and hopefully turn him into a real boy. Along the way, we're going to grab a skull in order to complete his transformation into being a real boy. Unlike Pinocchio, who just has to do good deeds and has to realize what it's like to be a decent human being, Melicamp has to have a skull and a little bit of necromancy. Good times. So Basil, of course, is engaged in melee combat with these skeletons, even though he's going to take a couple of gnarly hits.
Why do I live in such a pissant town?
And Thalantir, of course, tries to brush him off, but Basil is insistent. And he is aware, of course, that chickens normally don't talk, but this one does. And with that, Thalantir argues with his apprentice, Melicamp, about thievery and stealing stuff. Basil might not be the best audience member for this discussion, but whatever. I'm sure Chicken Boy was a naughty, naughty thief, and, well, he'll be okay. Either that, or he'll be dinner.
Why do I live in such
Let's
a
see what
pissant
happens.
town?
The spell is cast, and it's a success. Melicamp is a real boy now. Way to go, everybody. This, of course, is a 50-50 proposition, and it's completely random. And Basil gets a nice, cool 2,000 experience points from it. So we went on, and we did a nice, good deed after stealing a bunch of stuff in Beregost. At this point, we're going to try killing somebody who might be relatively innocent. Sure. Okay, she's not really that innocent. But we're going to head west to the coast. And we are going to take out... there's a nice little blue lady here. And this is...
I dream of windswept
This is
shores,
Shoal
even
the
while
Nereid.
there.
We're going to take her out. We're going to basically kite her. The big thing is that Basil needs to keep his distance away from Shoal the Nereid, because she will engage with any of the men of a party to try to kiss them. And she will always succeed if she is engaged in conversation, and once she kisses a male, she will bring them to the point of death. So the key for Basil is to not engage with conversation with this girl. But this wolf wants to party, so now he doesn't want to party. Bye. So Basil's going to keep on kiting. Try to be a little bit careful. And there we go. Shoal is dead. Basil gets a nice 5,000 XP. And he gets a pearl. Again, I only recommend doing this if you have a character who is decent with missile weapons. With that, and I did explore that area a little bit and almost died because ogres basically chased me around, and if they had caught up with me, then, well, Basil would be dead and I'd be screwed.
You funny looking.
We're gonna run into this little boy here, Footy, who is spying on a guy named Basilius and his spooks. At this point, I should remind folks that my plan for these runs going forward is that I'm going to be performing the newbie sin of save-scumming until I get to the last point of death in the previous run, last point of the main story. And then we're going to go into a hardcore run to kick ass and take names, or just die and create a new character and then repeat the process. This is our first example of save-scumming. This is a fight against Basilius. Basilius is a very, very powerful cleric. Basil is going to basically act like his father, because Basilius is unstable. We can charm him using Algernon's cloak. Algernon's cloak, of course, allows us to charm an opponent. We see that Basilius is insanely powerful. He has, for example, Heal. Heal is a level 6 spell, which means the character has to be at least a level 11 in order to cast it. That's very powerful.
Okay.
Before the fight, Basil took an oil of speed. He also set up a couple of traps, which aren't going to go off until there's a hostile enemy nearby. What we're going to do with our new superpower character is we're going to pick a fight with these hobgoblins. These hobgoblins, of course, are also pretty dangerous. So we're going to use Celius to cast Hold Person on 2 of them. And this is Zargal. Zargal wants us to surrender. We're not going to, because we have a level 11 character. We're going to use Basil to take out these baddies here. Basilius is also going to he's also going to buff up Basil quite a bit using spells. We're basically just going to cast a ton of spells to spend them and get them out of the way for when we have to eventually fight against Basilius, when the charm wears off.
Sure.
Then family.
The idea is that we want to disarm him from all of these spells. We're also going to...
Nothing is more important than family.
We're also going to make sure that that Basil is in shadows eventually.
Okay.
By the way, there was a nice short sword that we had Basil pick up along the way.
Sure.
Fighting against those hobgoblins.
Nothing is more important than family.
Pretty well armed, actually. It's a nice little opportunity to see what these spells all do. Sometimes when a cleric casts a spell on themselves when they are charmed, it will cause them to go hostile. In this case, it didn't. So, we are going to just cast spells randomly.
Nothing is more important.
There's some great options here for spells that can be cast. We're actually going to hold off on casting Circle of Bones. Hopefully we're not going to need it. We will cast Doom on ourselves. Use up the Sanctuary spell. This weird dialogue comes up. Normally this comes up when you're facing with Drizzt. It's either Drizzt or Dritzt. I don't really know which one it is, but...
Sure.
Okay, at this point, we have essentially brought Basilius to the point where he is exhausted all of his spells. So we're going to try to cloak Basil.
Nothing is more important
and
than
get him
family.
ready to backstab.
Sure.
Now, the smarter thing to do would have been for me to dive back into range and then try to backstab again for big amounts of damage. Basilius is no slouch when it comes to melee combat. He's got that really nice hammer, and he's got healing potions, so we are going to kite. Basil's going to run away. And in doing this run, I realized Basil is a horrible name for a main character because there's Basilius, there are basilisks, and with Basil there too, it's kind of overwhelming on the BAS names. So we're going to kite Basilius. Since Basilius doesn't have any spells, it's just a matter of outrunning him. and make sure we're keeping our distance. And hopefully not running into any of baddies along the way like we did earlier. This tactic worked for the blue lady, it's going to work for the mad priest too. Of course we'll heal along the way too, because we have enough healing potions that we're okay. Oh, keep away from that wolf. I don't need another opponent fighting me. They'll just make it take a lot longer. I'm supposed to get 2 attacks per round. And I think I do, it's just, you know, Basil takes his time to take a shot. And his shots don't do a huge amount of damage. And of course, I think I get a ton of critical misses as well, is what I'm trying to shoot through. So, again, continuing to keep distance, and I get that level up. Get a very nice hammer, get some jewelry, some gauntlets that you do not want to put on, they are cursed. And from there, we're going to see if we can get that reward. By the way, Celius, since he's a known criminal, you can turn in his holy symbol for a nice reward, and that's exactly what we're going to aim to do. We're going to head to the temple, talk to the
Don't touch me.
talk to the priest here, who also acts as the mayor. And the sword that we got is called the Whistling Sword. It's a sword +2. It is a fantastic early game item that we can have with us pretty much almost to the end of the game. So it's definitely worth taking along with us.
Sure.
Alright, so we're back in Baragost. Big damn heroes. We got a nice 5,000 gold reward. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to kill some spiders. Hopefully, I can just slice them. Yes, backstab one. Try to evade the others. And I will shoot at them. We're gonna kite these spiders all over Baragost. I'm sure that'll be. Well, you know, maybe Baragost should get themselves a law enforcement agency. You know, take care of these spiders on the streets. Who am I kidding? They don't have the resources to do that. It's a tiny little town. Not even like a night watch or anything like that. Town watch. I don't know. The Flaming Fist should normally come up and should like yell at people for messing up. I know they yell at me if I have any of my characters sleep on the streets. But alright, so we're back at the house. We took care of the spiders. We're gonna go in, we're going to grab the spare items. And these will be useful for when we eventually head north to the Friendly Arm Inn. At this point, we're gonna call it a day. As there's not much else to do in Baragost. We got some nice XP, and we're gonna now gather our crew together. If you like what I do, feel free to check out my other starter guides, my other playthroughs, and I hope you enjoy my stuff. With that, take care and good luck. We're all counting on you.